30 changes in Minecraft's 1.19 update. One of the most anticipated mobs in Minecraft history has finally been added to the game. After years of delays and teasers, the Warden has arrived in the 1.19 update. This villain has been in development since 2020 and has seen so many different stages. Starting off as the Hollowed and then becoming the Stalker, they were all insanely creepy, but some people thought it looked like a goofy siren head. So Mojang switched things up, creating the Warden we know today. If you load into 1.19, you can find the Warden at the very bottom of the overworld. Dig all the way down until you hit Bedrock, and you might come across a brand new biome called the Deep Dark. This place is full of secrets, but it's known as the Warden's home. Because he's blind, the Warden relies on vibrations in order to find you, which is why you must be extremely quiet when roaming the Deep Dark. Sneaking around is the only way to guarantee that he won't be summoned. Anything as simple as placing or breaking blocks can set off Skulk Shriekers. If you alert them 3 times in a row, the Warden will come for you, and it's pretty terrifying.
Oh my goodness.
You could really hear his heartbeat, and he gives everyone in the area a brand new darkness effect. You basically can't see anything, and it's like Minecraft turns into a horror game. So we absolutely recommend avoiding the Warden. He has been designed to be the most powerful mob in the game, and you really don't get any reward for killing him. Wardens are practically just obstacles in your quest for the true feature of the Wild update, Ancient Cities. These are the structures that can be found in the Deep Dark, and they're absolutely gigantic. Ancient Cities have a ridiculous amount of loot that can't be found anywhere else. You can pick up Echo Shards, a new crafting ingredient that can be used to make recovery compasses. This is an extremely important item that any survival player has to get their hands on. In short, a recovery compass can be made by surrounding a regular one with 8 Echo Shards. This will point you straight to the spot where you last died, which is something that we've been wanting in Minecraft forever. And it's not the only useful item exclusive to the Deep Dark. During one of your visits to an ancient city, you might just be lucky enough to find a Swift Sneak enchanting book. These can actually be used on leggings to move faster while sneaking, so you can get away from the Warden as quickly as possible. But if you're someone who wants to spend a little more time in the dark, then you'll be surprised to find skeleton skulls around the ancient city. This is the first time it's been easy to gain these because they're actually one of the rarest items in the game. Originally, you had to find a charge creeper and then make it blow up a skeleton. It was super tough, but thanks to 1.19, you can now collect as many skulls as you want. If that's your kind of thing. If you want to listen to some tunes while you stare at your creepy skull collection, the Wild update has added a new music disc. You have to collect 9 disc fragments from ancient cities, but I gotta be honest, they're really hard to come across, so good luck. Once you craft it, you've just gotten yourself one of the rarest music discs in the game, although I wouldn't really describe it as music, it's just like 3 minutes of disturbing sounds. Yet the real mystery here is what these ancient cities are actually made from. This is a new block named Reinforced DEEPSLATE, and right now, it is physically impossible to get these in survival mode. You could have a netherite pickaxe with all the effects and enchantments you need, but you'll just be wasting your time. It's also immune to explosions, withers, even ender dragons. But luckily, there are way more useful blocks to get your hands on, because in the new biome, you can find things like the Skulk Catalyst, which spreads Skulk every time you kill a nearby mob. Now, you can only pick up Skulk if you use a tool with Silk Touch, but if you break it normally, you get some XP. So combine this with a Catalyst and you could farm a ton of levels. You'll also find Skulk Sensors, which are no ordinary block, that pick up sounds and vibrations and send out a signal. So for all of you redstone experts, there's plenty of ways to experiment with this thing. So make sure a Shrieker isn't nearby, otherwise you'll find yourself thrown into complete darkness. These blocks together create one of the ancient city's most mysterious secrets. At the main structure, you can find a single chest with an item in it. It's usually a golden apple or a carrot, and if you take this and head to the location, stand in front of the door and eat them. If you do it correctly, the sensor behind you will hear the vibration of you eating and the door will magically open, revealing the secret room inside. This looks like a museum of redstone and how it works, so the ancient villagers who lived in this city must have been good at redstone before their civilization was wiped out. But enough about Deep Dark, because there's a brand new biome that doesn't have a murderer hiding around every corner. Yes, in the overworld, you can now come across mangrove swamps. They're improved versions of the swamps we know and love, but have all kinds of new trees, mud, and most importantly, wildlife. Say hello to frogs. You can spot them hopping around the new biome from one lily pad to another. There's 3 types of frogs: temperate, cold, and warm, and this is decided by what climate they're born in. You could actually watch them grow from tadpoles to adult frogs, which is really cool, but other than that, they don't really have much use. They do drop XP though, but originally frogs were gonna eat a new mob called fireflies, but then Mojang realized that fireflies are actually poisonous to frogs in real life, so looks like the idea was scrapped. One of the coolest things about these frogs is that you can make them eat a small magma cube and they will actually create a frog leg. These come in in 3 types in our light sources, and in my opinion, they look a little bit better than glowstone. But if you want to find yourself a tadpole, use slime balls on a frog and it will create frog spawn in the water. Once the eggs hatch, tons of tadpoles are born, and you don't get XP for killing these guys, so don't even think about it, okay? After 20 minutes, they become fully fledged adults, so if you decide to take a pet tadpole for yourself, use a slime ball to make them follow you, or just get a bucket and scoop them up. Just make sure to protect them from axolotls because they go crazy for these little guys. But none of this compares to one of the most useful items in the entirety of the Wild Update. We are now able to craft a brand new boat that includes a built-in chest. This will be so useful for transporting hauls of items. Now we won't have to rely on our ender chest all the time. You can make these with any type of wood, and that includes the brand new mangrove wood. This can be found all over the mangrove swamps, and it opens up a whole range of new things to craft, from fences to doors. Builders are insanely happy about this because it's an awesome color, and it's going to help a lot of people create fresh designs. But when it comes to a swamp, you don't just get new wood. 1.19 has introduced mud blocks. Yeah, all around the mangrove swamps, dirt has been replaced with mud, and it can be found literally everywhere. There's tons of ways to use it too. You could combine it with a piece of wheat to create packed mud, or go even further and turn 4 of them into mud bricks. Maybe you're too lazy to look for a mangrove swamp. Well, you could actually just create mud yourself by combining water and dirt. It is literally as simple as that. While it sounds fun to build an entire brick house made of dirt, there's something way more important that was added in today's update, and it is probably one of the most useful mobs today. Forget frogs or the warden, everyone is going to be looking for the allay. This is a brand new passive mob that can be found in pillager outposts and woodland mansions, and you'll find them caged up, so you have to help them break out. But the reason why the allay is so important is that you could give them any item and they will instantly follow you around until you take it back. The best part is the allay will go and find whatever item you handed to them and keep bringing it back to you. It is so OP. For those of you who hand the allay a piece of cake, you'll find an incredible secret. Give them the cake and then right-click a nearby note block, and instead of bringing the item back to you, the allay will deliver it to the note block, activating the birthday song Easter egg. But with how useful the allays are, you'll definitely want to keep them forever, so make sure to use a lead to keep them around. Listen to this, if you become best friends with your allay, you could even make them immortal with a totem of undying. Now, if you don't have any of those, don't worry. It is actually impossible to hurt your own allay. Just keep them away from anyone who can't be trusted. But perhaps one of the weirdest things to be introduced with the Wild Update is the goat horn. This was originally going to be added in 1.18, but thankfully the wait is over. There are 8 versions of the goat horn, and each has a different type of sound. Even though they were announced years ago, you would be surprised to see goat horns in 1.19, as they were originally delayed to 2023. But thankfully, they made the cut. Sadly though, we are still waiting to see features like archaeology and bundles, which are coming next year. But if you want to get your hands on a goat horn, they get dropped when a goat rams into a block. And there are even some exclusive versions that you could only get from screaming goats. You might be wondering what the purpose of these horns even are. Well, they make fun sounds, so what more do you need? And when you first log into Minecraft after 1.19, you'll be glad to see that the Minecraft title screen has a fresh new background. It's now featuring the new biomes such as the mangrove swamps. And thanks to the new swamps arriving, water has also received a big change. You can now place water inside of leaves, and they create an awesome new waterlogged block. These make for some really nice decoration techniques, and when you're done, you can pick the water back up with a sponge. And that's not the only thing to receive an upgrade. For years, minecarts with upgrades such as chests or hoppers have been separated when you break them. This would be so annoying as you'd have to recraft them every single time. But thankfully, the change is here, and now when you break a minecart with an additional item, it'll drop as one thing. Thank you, Mojang. Another neat change is that they've added 4 new paintings to Java Edition. While they've been in Bedrock for a while, now Java players can enjoy it as well. Well, kinda. You still need a command to make them appear, which is kinda disappointing, but for those of us who could do it, it's a great way to liven up our home. And that is every secret. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on T5G.